we subtract them. Ayo. Tell me what's the problem? I just pop models. Boys or girls these days, shit, it don't matter. We could fuck Sunday cause I don't read Bibles, but I'm faithful to this money and it's subtling goggles. I don't pop bottles, I just cop automobiles, full throttle. New engine can't follow, get a jet to Lake Como, we could try some new gelato. Shorty, I'm for real, like my role model.
Hi guys, okay, so today I am posting my awaited makeup tutorial. All of the products that I'm using will be shown on the screen. So that you guys know, I do have very oily skin, so today I am going to be doing a more matte look. You know, it's summertime. Some of the steps in the video isn't fully like in order, but if you follow along, I'll show you how I go from this to this. With that being said, let's get started. If you're gonna be wearing makeup, you have to make sure you have a clean canvas. I like to use this cleanser by La Roche-Posay, but my favorite cleanser is this Neutrogena one. It is so good, like it would remove anything. Now that my face is clean, I like to pat it dry with a towel. I use this lotion to keep my face moisturized. Especially if you have dry skin, it is very important to moisturize your face. So the gel is just a regular edge booster. I use that to hold my eyebrows and laminate them. Just as much gel as I took out, you're gonna take your spoolie and rub it the opposite side into your brows so it gets all the way in your brows, and then you're gonna rub it forward and start to pull your brows up in a natural upwards motion. As you can see, I'm wiping off the excess amount of gel, and I would definitely recommend doing the same. This part is very simple. I just keep brushing it up until I get the shape that I desire. Now let that sit for a minute. So the point of the liner is to just make natural strokes so it looks like you have really thick, luscious, natural, beautiful brows. As you can see, I'm just going up with the liner and stroking it in very naturally.
Bro, you're the goat. I see you, my slime. Bro, you're him. Hemi Neutron. Hemi John. He's him. Nah.
I know we looking crazy, but trust the process. The strokes I just made with the liner, I'm going to use the spoolie to press them in and make it look more natural and seamless.
Where did these niggas be at when they say they doing all this and all that?
So that shade is called Deep Caramel. It is way too light for me, so I like to mix some of my foundation to make it more natural. For a bright under eye, it's good to only go like a few shades lighter than your actual skin tone. When concealing your brows, you would want to use an angled brush so you can get the shape you want easier. For shaping your brows, I just like to curve it upwards like a hill. You have to build them in an upwards motion and then you slant them downwards. I use this liner to go over places of my brows that might have been covered with concealer, and also to make the tail of my brow. Now we're shaping the top of the brow, and for this part you start off small just like how you do in the bottom, and then you curve towards the middle.
Show it out. Got a new body, girl, show it out. It's a Brazilian, I know it's out. Toned up and she got a six-pack.
Y'all, brows is not for the weak. I like to take my time with my brows, and brows are sisters, not twins. So if they don't look exactly alike, don't worry about that. Now we're blending. Blending is an easy but essential step. Just take a flat brush and blend that concealer in. All you have to do is tap it in and then take the line downwards. Right here, I'm just doing touch-ups. For the front of my brows, I like a natural faded look, so I tap it with a brown crayon eyeliner. Doing that makes it look faded and it mimics small brow hair. So then I just gently dab it in with my spoolie and blend it out and take away all the harsh lines. You can also use the brush to make finishing touches in the middle. Your primer is like lotion. It just helps grip your makeup and make it more long lasting. I like to rub it, but don't rub it all the way in. Just rub it in enough where it's rubbed in, but you can still feel it. Using foundation, I like to start off with only 1 or 2 pumps. If you feel like you need more, you could build it up towards the end. To blend in my foundation, I'm using an angled sponge I got off of Shein, and also a setting spray to add hydration to my face. It smells really good, like exactly like coconut. Like I said earlier, for blending, dab, 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 dab. Always dab it in. You do not want to brush it against your skin or drag it against your skin, because the product won't look as good. Always dab it on your skin like that. Same sponge used for blending in my foundation, I'm also using that to blend in the concealer. If you want more coverage, you could build on the amount of foundation. Like, as you can see, it's not full coverage, so I'm adding a bit more foundation. I'm adding foundation to my eyelid to blend out the concealer so it looks more natural and not as bright.
What? What are they selling? Chocolates! What? Chocolate! I can't hear you! They're selling chocolate!
For concealer, I like to do dots in an upward motion. It gives you a very snatched and, youthful look. The more concealer you use, the harder it will be to blend it out, so I find it easier to do dots. I'm adding a little bit of foundation to my concealer so the under eye is bright but still a little bit closer to my skin tone. Now let that sit for 3 minutes. This is just a random eyeshadow palette I got off of Amazon. I don't remember the link exactly, but it looks something like that. I'm going to use the 2 darkest browns on my eyelid just to give some color over there. And this step is optional. Now the 3 minutes are up. I like to use a powder puff. I got this from Shein and I use it to blend in my concealer. I feel like powder puffs are really good for blending out concealer and for powders. Like, they barely pick up any product and it just glides on seamlessly. So I definitely recommend powder puffs for concealers, or if you're setting anything, you need a powder puff. When you're blending in an upwards motion, you want your face to look lifted. You're lifting your face up. You're blending upwards. So the black powder puff, I'm mixing in some foundation and I'm just going over that rough line and blending it out. And also, you could do the same thing with your eyebrows. If you don't want it to be too bright, you could just press in some foundation and you're all good. Sometimes if I know I'm going to be wearing makeup for a full day, I like to do 2 layers of concealer just so the bright under eye lasts all day. Now you don't need too much powder. You're going to go upwards just like how we were doing it with the concealer, just like that. And I really love this powder because it gives a soft airbrush look. Especially if you're an oily girl like me, powder is your best friend. You need a powder. A little hack if you don't feel like contouring your nose, you can take the powder and just trace the bridge of your nose. And what that does, it just makes a natural contoured line without actually having to use a darker color. If you're a beginner, I would definitely recommend contouring that way. So this is a powder foundation. Since I have oily skin, I like to use a powder foundation to give a real matte look. And you know it's hot, so the matte look never hurt nobody. You would just press in the foundation wherever you already put your foundation. You can add it on your forehead to give a nice contour up there. If you have dry or combination skin, you can still use powders, but focus heavily on setting sprays to add back some hydration to your face. I'm using the shade towards the end of the palette, and I'm just adding that on that bridge of my nose and using my finger to blend that in. You want to build the contour on just so your nose isn't too dark, and it makes it look even more realistic. Bringing it up towards your eye also makes it look very realistic too. I'm using the same dark brown to trace the heel of my nose, and I'm going to go over it repeatedly. Blend out the harsh lines. I use the concealer powder puff. I use the dark brown to trace my nostrils too. For the nostrils, I just go straight down. I like to follow the natural shape of my nose. I'm gonna put the light brown on top of what I contoured just to get an airbrush look. I want it to look contoured, but I don't want it to look too defined. So adding a light color helps with blending. And then I wipe off my lips to get the makeup off. This step is also optional. Okay, she's given, but she's not done yet. The thing with makeup, it repeats itself. It's like a pattern. Just like with the concealer, we're gonna go upwards along the cheekbones. This second blush is more pink. I like to mix it with volume 6 because it's so pretty, like the orange and the pink color. Like look at that, it's just amazing. I love it. This palette is so pretty. Like this is one of my favorite things in my collection. And for highlighter, I think you get the best application when you use your finger. I don't know, it's just something about that finger that's gonna make your highlighter shine all day. Right here, I'm just doing a quick little touch up with the contour to make that line at the bridge as straight as possible. Lining your lips is the easiest part of makeup. All you have to do is line the natural pattern of your lips. And what you're gonna do now is pucker, 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 pucker. So then you just keep repeating that process until you get the shape that you like. I like to clean up some of the brown on my bottom lip. So you just get a little napkin, lick it, or whatever you want to use, and just wipe some of that brown off. For lip gloss, it doesn't have to be this exact shade or even the exact brand. You can use whatever you like. But you're going to apply a little bit to the pink part of your lip and then just pucker, pucker, pucker. The beauty marks, you could freestyle, honestly. Whatever pattern you want to follow, just do what you like. I won't be putting on lashes today because I had them on earlier.